Hello everyone, my name's Megan. You probably came from my Tumblr, which is holy shit Danganronpa. Anyway, if you didn't, hi, I'm Megan. I make MEP parts sometimes. But today, instead of an MEP part, I'm going to be reading to you a Danganronpa fanfic that is, and it is called Heelies by Sami on Archive of Our Own. I'll leave a link in the description below. For the actual video part of this video, my plan is to slowly zoom in on a sprite of Aoyase Hina and then put Yif in the corner or somewhere along those lines in Comic Sans. That'll probably end up being what I'm doing. Anyway, so because this is ASMR, which is supposed to be relaxing, I'll be reading the entire fic in this quiet, soft voice. I hope I don't mess up too much because this is my second time recording it, and I really hope nobody bothers me because I don't know how I'm going to explain this. With that said, let's get started. Heelies by Sami. Summary. As the whole school becomes obsessed with Heelys, they also forget that Makoto Naegi is not dead. Notes. See the end of the work for notes. Mondo sighed as he rubbed the last of the sleep out of his eye, resigned to another day of school. Complete fucking waste of my time, he murmured under his breath, like he did pretty much every day. He knew he could be out riding right now, or talking to someone who had been giving his gang some trouble. Or, he thought as he blushed a little, he could be working on his birthday present for his best friend, Ishimaru. He had at least 3 more hours of carving to do before it was good enough to show anyone. Really, there were 1,000 things he would rather do than go to school today. The only reason he even went anymore was for Ishimaru. This fucking nerd gonna be the death of me, I swear. Who? Owada-kun? Is someone from the chess club bothering you? As if summoned, Ishimaru Kiyotaka glided in. Yeah, totally. Who the fuck is even in the chess club anyways? I'll have you know, Mondo Owada, that chess is helpful for increasing mental facilities and looks very good on a transcript. Ishimaru sighed. He was used to the disagreements he and Mondo had about academic activities. Yeah, maybe if you're a fucking nerd. Come on, let's get class over with. It wasn't until then that Mondo actually looked at Ishimaru, who was wearing his usual pristine uniform like he did every day. There was one difference today, however. Instead of his trademark knee-high black boots, Ishimaru was instead wearing black sneakers. Hey, bro, what's with the shoes? Mondo asked. He had never seen Ishimaru wear any other shoes before. In fact, he didn't even know Ishi owned more than one pair of shoes. Oh, these? Why, they are the newest convenience to increase my efficiency. Hagakure-kun told me recently about them. They are from a brand called Heelys. I assume Hagakure-kun had just discovered them himself, for he could barely contain his joy in telling me. Jesus fucking Christ. Mondo's hands went up to cover his face as he thought about how Hagakure was probably enjoying how he had tricked innocent Ishimaru into not only buying, but wearing Heelys in public. Mondo chose his words carefully so he wouldn't hurt his bro's feelings, but this had to stop before anyone else saw. Listen, bro, there's something I gotta tell you. Tell me later, Owada-kun. We are going to be late for chemistry. And with that, Ishimaru took off a couple of steps forward and proceeded to glide away on his brand new Heelys, grinning from ear to ear and laughing boisterously. Wait up, Mondo sputtered, but it was too late. Ishimaru had already sped down the hall and swung around the corner before Mondo had even taken a step, every eye in the hallway, and some from classrooms, following him. Fucking asshole, muttered Mondo. Whether he was talking about Ishimaru or Hagakure was impossible to tell, but it was probably both. He knew he had to stop this before it went any further. Sandy hair obscured the view of Makoto Naegi, as it always did in the mornings. He yawned and stumbled into school, barely vertical, yet alone awake. He'd stayed up way too late last night finishing his history essay, but it was necessary. Grades are important, he thought, and he could probably survive the day. Suddenly, he heard sounds of a chase behind him, and he turned around to see, to absolutely nobody's surprise, Ishimaru chasing Mondo. Owada, slow down this instant, Ishimaru shouted at his usual volume. Mondo was moving surprisingly fast, and he seemed more graceful than any man that large should be. Then Naegi noticed his shoes. "You are going over the school-regulated Heelys speed limit. I must insist that you slow down before you kill somebody." "Like I'm gonna fucking kill anybody with these shoes." Mondo looked behind him and laughed, which is why he crashed flying into Naegi, causing both of them to topple to the floor. "Mondo? Mondo?" Ishimaru called frantically, catching up quickly because he was also wearing fucking Heelys. "Are you okay?" Mondo sat up. "I'm fine, nerd, but... oh no! Naegi, being so exhausted, hadn't gotten up yet, and decided to accept his new life on the school floor. "You've killed him," sobbed Ishimaru. Naegi knew that Ishimaru had a tendency to catastrophize, but this was a little extreme. He decided to continue ignoring him, figuring that Mondo would end the joke. I didn't mean to. I didn't think," Mondo said, as if stunned. Naegi looked at him. Why was Mondo going along with this? He was obviously not dead. He sat up just to make sure they actually knew this. I told you not to speed on those fashionable yet functionable shoes. When will you learn that your actions have consequences?" Ishimaru continued, burying his face in his hands. "I can't believe he's dead, and I killed him. Guys, I'm not dead. I'm right here. Did the shoes drive them insane?" "We'll have to plan a funeral," Mondo muttered. Naegi decided that they were just being stupid and started gathering up his things that scattered when he fell. As hard as he tried to ignore them, however, their bickering, and Ishimaru's crying, was giving them a headache. As the dynamic duo continued with funeral plans, how are we going to break it to Komaru? Kirigiri approached the fiasco. Who did this? Who killed Makoto Naegi? She'd approached a little too gracefully now that Naegi thought about it. Fearfully, Naegi looked down. The Heelys had got her too. Naegi stood up with a sigh. He did not have the energy for this today. "Guys, this is hilarious and all, but please let's let this joke die before it gets out of hand." "Oh, I think it is a little too late for that, Mr. Naegi," someone whispered in his ear, with way too much breathiness. Turning around, Naegi had just enough time to see Hagakure wink at him before he heeled off behind the others. Fearfully, Naegi looked around. Every student in the hall was wearing Heelys, even Sakura, even Yamada, even fucking Togami. Was there some school memo he missed out on? Some sick fucking joke that he was being played on? He decided to handle it gracefully. "Hey guys, where's my pair? You can't leave me out on this party," he joked, but there was no response. His classmates continued their bickering. A week had passed, and Makoto Naegi was still dead. Even his teachers wouldn't look at him, wouldn't call on him in class. Luckily, they seemed to be grading his papers. Oh, also, the teachers were wearing fucking Heelys. The fucking principal was wearing Heelys. Naegi thought this was some kind of shoe-related group insanity. He had to constantly dodge in the hallways because someone ran into him. They got up, looked confused, and heeled away. Sometimes they would mutter something like, "Nothing there," or "What the hell?" People that he had never met before pretended he didn't exist. Naegi started to wonder if he was really dead, until another murder occurred. "Naegi, you're alive?" Aoi Asahina exclaimed upon seeing her classmate. "Yup, unless you ask literally everyone at school. Then nope, neither are you." This time it had been Leon who crashed into a student, killing them. To be fair enough, he was being chased by Mondo, something about wrecking his bike. He had ran into Aoi so forcefully, due to the speed of his shoes, that he knocked her shoes entirely off. They had been swept away in the sea of students, never to be found again. "That can't be," Aoi stuttered. She turned to another student and tried to get their attention. "Hello? Can you hear me? This is, like, super important." The student's only reply was to ignore her and pull a bag of donuts out of their locker. Aoi's eyes lit up mischievously as she reached over and snatched the bag. The student screamed, "Ghosts!" before they heeled the hell out of there. "You are a monster," Naegi decided as Aoi offered him a donut. He took it. As he chewed, he had a realization. "Come on, Aoi, we need to talk to someone about this. An expert." Naegi dodged his way down the hall with determination, Aoi gracefully trotting behind him. Hell no, Naegi. This guy never makes any sense, Aoi objected as they hovered outside the door of the abandoned classroom Hagakure had taken over for his business. I know. But when this all started, he noticed me. I think he might be the only one not involved in this stupid prank. Prank schmank? You were dead. Nobody could see you. Like, I didn't know you were alive. Well, whatever is going on, Hagakure knows it and probably knows how to handle it, Naegi insisted as he pushed his way inside the room. He had set up a foggy machine to create an eerie atmosphere and replaced half the lights with gentle lavender ones. Clearly, the majority of his work was setting the stage. I knew you would come to me eventually, Hagakure chuckled, his finger under his nose. You need to tell us what's going on, Naegi demanded. He was a little tired of being ignored. I bet you're wondering how this will play out, huh? Well, for a small fee of, I can't read that number, yen, I could easily help you with your problems. What the fucking number, yen? What the fuck, Hagakure? Naegi exclaimed. There was no way that Hagakure's shitty advice was worth that much. Honestly, I'd rather continue being dead. So thanks, but no thanks. Okay, I'll give you a freebie, because it's your first time. Come over here and look into my crystal ball. It was owned by Genghis Khan, you know. Naegi, maybe we should just go, Aoi said hesitantly. Didn't it look like a lot of bad things happened to Genghis Khan? Let's just get this over with, Aoi, Naegi sighed. Maybe this moron would actually be able to help them. I foresee great fortune in the form of shoes in your future. Shoes? Do you really expect me to get those dumbass shoes, the Heelys? Please. I see a rebirth. That's it. He was done. Naegi got up and walked out of the room that was suffocating him with fog and stupidity. He would find his own way out of this mess. He didn't find his own way out of this mess. 3 to 7 business days later, we don't actually know how many, Naegi rolled up to school, fresh Heelys on foot and in hand. He had purposefully gotten to school early to avoid the hallway traffic, and he slid into his classroom. He had to admit, these shoes were pretty fun, he thought as he put an extra pair on Aoi's desk. Maybe Hagakure wasn't such a moron after all. He smiled as he saw Ishimaru and Mondo zoom past the door, screaming. He smiled all the way up until he heard a loud crash echoing in the hallway that ended with a freshman getting her arm broken. As she watched the chaos around the students, medics rushing in, Kirigiri had to wonder why this all begun. She turned to her companion and observing Hiro Hagakure. Why did you start all of this? She asked. Heelys, Naegi's death, the whole thing. I can't rationalize it. Hagakure shrugged. I own stock in Heelys. Coincidentally, Heelys surged in popularity once Chinko's fans had seen her wearing them, and the other students' respective fan clubs also got onto the trend, leading to a whole worldwide restorage. Heelys are now banned at Hope's Peak Academy. That's the end. Let's read the notes. Notes. Okay, I did not edit this, so rip me. It's like 3 a.m. and I just wanted to finish it. Shout out to Grace for the idea. Well, everyone, that was the Heelys fic. I think I had minimal vocal sputterings. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it. Bye.